Let's see what is the best CRM for a small company or independent worker, like you maybe. First, the kind of CRM that you should avoid, and it's about 99% of the CRMs actually on the market. Those who are difficult to learn for salespeople. That means if it's difficult, intentional errors because you don't want to spend too much time filling what you think is not very important, or missions that you don't want. System that require prior training. If you're in a big company, it's fine for your company to pay for this training. If it's not the case, you don't have the money for that, and you don't have the time, and that means that the system is complicated. You don't want that. Systems that are long to fill in. Most of the time, salespeople refuse to fill in certain fields. And we always say garbage in, garbage out. So that you should try to avoid. Too many interfaces, menus and sub-menus. System oriented on analysis at the expense of sales. Complicated system or very complete system with procedures for very rare case. You much prefer to have a system that is not perfect, that doesn't cover every cases, but cover the 80% of the cases that provide you with money, than the special customer that you will never have or have once a year, So a system that is too perfect is not perfect. A good CRM should help you increase the sales. It should make it easy for you to work and find some new customers. You should have a one-click access for essential salespeople functions like clients, lead, current proposal, and reserve list. It's always good for you to have reserve list because if you lack customer at one point, you can go and try to pick these clients. It's also good to have a general sheet where you have 20 lines, one line per customer, so that you can go quickly, you can scan it quickly and call somebody if necessary. And if necessary, you can click on the customer and then you are going to have his complete file. But it's good to have it both, and that's exactly how Action Client has been conceived, because it has been conceived by salesperson for salespersons. Also, a good CRM should be simple and easy to use. The second, we saw it should help you sell more. The third quality is a good CRM should help improve your customer service and customer experience. You should be able to have immediate access to the customer with his name and not have to ask him what's your number, what's your client number, your folio, your invoice number. That is not good. It's long and it's not personalized. You should reach the person by the name. And the information, you should have it immediately without making the customer wait. And we have been focusing on that to have a very, very quick and responsive system. You should also have the key information like the products and services he bought, the habits of the customer, the motivation, the preference, so that you don't only answer to what he's asking you for, but you can also take into account his motivation and his long-term objective. This is key. You don't have to have all the details of all the conversation, but you should just have what is key. You should also be able to enter data easily while discussing with the customer. You should have no submenus. It should be done naturally. A good CRM also should be ergonomic and sales-oriented. You should be able to use it from a cellular phone. You should have as few interfaces and screens as possible so that you don't have to navigate to find your information. That's exactly what we have been focusing on. You should minimize the number of clicks to get and to obtain your information or to write your information. You should have a floating or horizontal navigation bar so that wherever you are in the system, you can immediately return where you want to go by one click. Avoid the system with gray pages from the 70s or 80s, with small boxes everywhere and drop-down menu and sub-menus, and a lot of are like that, and it's just awful. It should be attractive, ergonomic, and with nice presentations and colors. What your CRM should present. You should have in front of you in the main page your current proposal. That's the most important. That's where you invested time to make proposal, and that is what is going to provide you with money coming soon. Customers, you should be able to classify it by priorities A, B, C. Prospect by priority 1, 2, or 3, either by decreasing potential, 1 would be a lot of potential prospect, 2 and 3 would be less, or you can also divide it by each sales step. 1 would be say step 1, 2 step 2, 3 step 3. For example, it's up to you to customize it. Categories of customers and prospect in order to be able to choose your calls. That means that depending on your business, the categories of the categories of your clients and prospect. It changes from one business to another one, so there is a column for that. You can fill it so that you can classify your clients or prospect with the category. You should also have a reserve list so that when you finish your prospection, you can go and find some other clients. And it's also good to have prospects put on hold. What do I mean here is that, if you are a salesperson, sometimes you have been prospecting a big company, you want to get in, but you are blocked. And you want to delete it, but no, in fact, you don't want to delete it. You want to keep it for later. So you put it there, and within 6 months or 1 year, you call back, and sometimes the person who was blocking you is not there anymore. And hey, that's great. Then you are in. So it's a system that has been conceived by salespeople for salespeople, and we know what we want and what we don't want. At the end, the best for a small company, independent worker, to sell is Action Client, easier and simpler. It doesn't provide all the features for sure, and we don't want it. Just to focus on the essential. Zoho, if you want to have a more complex system, complete but also complicated. Salesforce, which is the most common in all the companies, but most of the people working with it complain about how difficult it is to do it. Not the directors, but the salespeople. HubSpot, who requires some training before, which is not good for a small company. Dynamics, which is very complete, a lot of systems, it's Microsoft. But it's complicated too. And SAP. SAP is one of the very big ones, but the name SAP, it means what it means. It's German, it's square, it's efficient, but you have to enter the data first, and that's not the best for a small company. So, wish you a good day and mainly a lot of sales.